You know, it's really, you know, I mean, you can't do it overnight. It happens one thought at a time, and I don't want to say it's easy, and I don't want to say it's hard. It's not insurmountable. You're a genius creator. You created it. You know, there's nothing more satisfying than getting yourself out of a jam when you're surrounded by chaos. You know, I mean, it can be satisfying. You know, there's a lot of triumphant stories and inspirational, and yeah, those are the kinds of things that you want to become familiar with. You know, put your attention on those kinds of things, and maybe comedy. You know, I mean, you know, lighten up, you know, I mean, it's, you know, of course then there's the political comedy, and then comics they talk about, you know, I mean, all kinds of problems and stuff, so that's not really the answer, but you want to look at the lighter side of life, and what happens when you do that, and you try to align your thoughts with source, then if you walk by the television, you can flip it on and watch it for 5 minutes, and you laugh your ass off because, you know, you just draw that stuff out of it. Now, if you sit there, for, you know, you get sucked in and you're sitting there for hours, yeah, you're going to end up with putting your attention on the opposite of what you want. You know, I mean, it takes more effort to get your thoughts together than, you know, not. I'm not going to lie to you there. It takes a lot more initiative to want to in the first place, or even understand that, you know, thoughts do become things, and the law of attraction does exist. And, you know, of course, the law of gravity, I mean, 500 years ago, they were giving Copernicus a bunch of shit. I mean, he had the decency to file his papers and then die. But his proteges, hell, they were going to hang him, but they forced him into saying that, yeah, the world's flat, yeah, it's stationary, yeah. You know, and the whole problem was that the wisdom of the day was that, and, well, the rulers of the day, the Christian motherfucking rulers, if I may add, those son of a bitches, they were ruling on the premise that the world was stationary and it was flat, and if you didn't like it, they were going to take your head. All right? So, when these people started saying, well, the fact is the world is round, and fact is that it rotates, and fact is it revolves also. You know, I mean, it's like, so they didn't like that. They did not like that, and they fought it and fought it for 100 years. You know, and what, I mean, you know, they're probably still fighting it. You know, I mean, they certainly aren't understanding that, you know, this world's infinitely dimensional. I mean, they're not going to tell you that, that's for sure. But, yeah, the point is that the wisdom of the day is very powerful, and that's, if you're sick, that's your problem. You know, that's a lot of your problem, and you're allowed to change your beliefs and your understanding of what's going on. It's very simple. It eliminates all your problems. You know, the more you put your attention on what you want, the less grip and grasp your problems have on you. That's what, you know, the whole turn in the cheek premise is about. You know, because that's, you know, how it works. You know, you only have so much linear consciousness available, and if you're putting it on what you want, and you get to the point where the majority of it's on what you want, and then it keeps on getting, you know, more and more, or, you know, whatever you're comfortable with. I mean, you know, it's, you don't need to make a huge change, you just want to feel good. And when you're moving towards what you want, you feel good. So you don't need to worry about getting to where you want. You want to become more clear on where you want to go, and use the newfound information. When you start moving towards health, you're going to have all kinds of information that you can choose from that will help you move towards better health. I mean, you got to figure out the colon cleansing, and the, you know, the water, alkaline ionized water cleansing, and you know, I mean, it would be, I'm not going to talk about food because it's not possible to eat a good diet. It's not possible. First of all, nobody knows what the fuck that is. Secondly, it's not available. It's not available. You know, all our food is poisoned with, you know, antibiotics, and which is getting a little better, but, you know, it's the whatever, the pesticides and blah, 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 you know, but that's a whole other story. I mean, you know, you can't blame that on why you feel bad. I mean, you'd feel better if it would be easier to heal yourself if you had good clean food to eat. But on the other hand, if you had good clean food to eat and you became healthy but you still didn't change your beliefs, you'd get sick again. So, you know, it's not that important. It would be nice. I'd love to eat good clean food all the time, but you know, it's not easy to do, you know. But yeah, that's the point. Is if you're a blamer or a hater or you want to stomp out something that you don't like, I mean, all that's putting your attention on what you don't want, and it's an easy trap to fall into. I'm not saying the best of us do it, you know. So even when you know what you're doing, you know that it makes a difference, and it'll piss you off. You'll say, I can't get my mind off this, you know, crap that I don't like. Well, you know, you gotta feel your way, you know, into the vortex. Yeah, that's what some people call it. Yeah, I like that explanation. But you know, you have to feel your way into figuring out, you know, how you get the conversation back towards where you want to go. You know, even when you're deep into what you don't want. And you know, health-wise, you know, if you want to get into envisioning, and there's also the, you know, the chanting, and you know, if you want to meditate, you know, high tech, there's those binary entrainment therapy CDs that are fabulous. I mean, they'll drive your brainwaves if you're a willing participant and you want to go into a deep meditative state. It's very easy with these CDs because they drive your brainwaves into a deep meditative state. And if you do it with the intention of visualizing what you want to become clear of, and even, you know, you can't ever empty your mind completely. So if you're going to think about something, you want to think about what the fuck you want. Yeah, not what you're trying to move away from. That's a lot of the problem. You know, everybody puts this, oh, well, you know, I got to fix this problem, or this is what's bothering me. And all of that is putting your attention on the opposite of what you want. Because what you want, you don't want, you're putting your attention on, you know, this pain bothers me, or this part of my life bothers me, or I don't like this car, or I don't like my job, or I don't like, you know, all the attention you put on that is keeping you locked into that. Okay, and you don't feel good. It'll end up twisting your gut. So what you do when you start thinking about how much you hate your job or whatever it is, you turn your cheek towards, well, what do I want? And then you go from there. Yeah, well, I want this, I want that. You just get more clear, and then another thought will come, oh, well, you know, I still hate that job. Yeah, well, you know, I hate it, but I'm going to choose to put my attention on what I want. You know, if I choose to put my attention on what I want long enough, then that won't even be there, and it'll resolve itself. Because when you create with intent, that's what that whole creating with intent means. You know, you're directing your thoughts towards what you want. That's how you create with intent. That's how you create on purpose. You put your attention on what you want, because if you got inadvertently, if you don't know any better, you got your attention on the opposite of what you want, you're going to get drugged down in there until you die. And you're going to get sick along the way. Or you can choose to want to understand. You know, I mean, it's not just me. There's a lot of other information out there, and you're welcome to check it out. Hell, all this stuff, you could go on YouTube, and well, that's where you are now. You're on YouTube. It's all there for you. You know, it's all right there. You don't even, you know, it's raising your consciousness is free. You know, which, when you raise your consciousness and you align your beliefs with health, you know, how much better do you think that your life would be if you don't feel bad, and if you are moving towards feeling good, and you don't have all the inconvenience and expense of feeling bad? And, you know, I mean, even if you feel better than what you did, it's still easier. You know, plus you're moving towards what you want to go, and the more where you want to go, and the more you move where you want to go, the easier it is. You know, just like when you get into a downward spiral, it's easy to get sucked into, and you just keep on going. You know, you want to get into the positive spiral or the vortex, you know, is you can look at it like that. You know, however, you know, you just want to feel your way towards it. That's all you can do, and that's all you want to do. Yeah, that's life. That's what every moment, you know, because otherwise, you know, when you're in the completely invisible world, everything's happening at one time. You know, and what determines what you experience is what you choose to put your attention on. It's exactly what we're doing now. It's if there, it happens instantaneously. You know, and we communicate telepathically and, you know, whatever, you know, you don't need to really worry about that. But, you know, the whole idea is that the technical aspect and the mechanical aspect of it is all, you know, run in a very precision way. That's the point. You know, so whatever thoughts you have, that's what the universe moves towards manifesting into your physical world. And that's how it works. It doesn't matter, you know, you are effortless. Basically, you are an effortless creator. You don't have to struggle at all. Actually, if you are struggling, you catch yourself struggling, you know that your thoughts need to change towards what you want, you know. And even if you're on a positive train of thought and then you start struggling, then you're starting to worry about the details. It's like, well, how am I going to become healthy? As soon as you do that, that's all this stuff over here. That's all the stuff you don't want to think about. How am I going to get healthy? Well, the way you're going to get healthy is you put your attention on health. Sounds simple, right? And figuring out how you're going to do it, that ain't going to cut it.